Hello everyone, this is Anwar and this is your smart English channel on YouTube. I hope you are all well. Today we are going to explain a very important question that faces you in TOEFL IBT reading section. This question is a rhetorical purpose question. All the details, all the information included into this video. Follow me, don't miss a point in this video. Be with me. Let's get started. Number one, I would like to face you with the suitable question itself. Okay, can you answer this question as you see on the screen? Here is the question about astronomy is defined as a study of objects, blah, 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 okay? And here is the question itself, okay? This is the kind of question of rhetorical question. He says, why does the author say, for example, the universe made the carbon, the calcium, and the oxygen necessary to construct something as interesting and complicated as you. Okay, this is the question. So now you can determine why the author say this sentence. Okay. First of all, you have to go up in the paragraph or the passage and determine or find out the sentence as in yellow here, okay? This is the sentence. So you have to focus and find where is this sentence into the paragraph. Next, you have to read more sentence previously and after this sentence to make a whole imagination about why the author mentioned this sentence. Okay, let's get started. We will see again and again that the cosmos evolves. It changes in profound ways over long periods of time. Take care of this word, okay? For example, the universe made the carbon, the calcium, and the oxygen necessary to construct something as interesting and complicated as you. Okay, today, many billions of years later, the universe has evolved into more hospitable place for life. Okay, so now he is trying to give an example about how the universe or the cosmos evolves gradually for a long time. Okay, so now if we go to the question itself to check the answers and the choices, okay, to explain one way in which the universe had evolved significantly over great lengths of time. Take this keyword, over great lengths of time. This word can help you determine which answer is the right one. Let's check the other choices. Number B, to explain why the author or the universe evolves so much over long periods of time. He is not asking you why here, okay? This rhetorical purpose question asks you why the author mentioned this. What is his intention to put this sentence into the paragraph? So the first one is the correct answer because he is giving you the way, the approach in which the universe has evolved significantly over a long period of time. But here is he say why. We are not asking about detailed question, and so it is not a correct answer. Number C, to describe one topic. To describe one topic. He is not here. He is not describing a topic of study, but he is giving us the way that the cosmic evolved through time in the field of astronomy. Number D is incorrect also because to prove how quickly the universe evolves, how you can prove it using example like this, okay? It is not suitable answer here. So the first answer is the correct one here. So I give you the whole imagination. How can we reach the right correct answer here? And how you can deal with this kind of question. First of all, in this video, you will learn how to recognize the purpose question. Number 2, what clues to look for in the passage. And number 3, and how to choose the answer that best explains and why say a sentence or a paragraph was included. In other words, why he mentioned this sentence. Understanding purpose question in the TOEFL reading section. The purpose question is one of the key question types in the TOEFL IBT. reading section. Unlike factual and vocabulary question, because this kind of question, the factual and the vocabulary question always asks you about details and a certain information that mentioned into the paragraph. Purpose question is the opposite. He asks you to understand the reason a specific sentence or a paragraph was included, why the author or the writer mentioned a specific information into the passage. This is the whole definition to this kind of question, rhetorical question. Why the author or the writer mentioned a certain information in this place into the paragraph or the text, okay? In other words, you are asked to determine the author's intent or his intention, why he intended to put this sentence into the paragraph. This is what does it mean by using or answering the rhetorical question into the TOEFL IBT reading section. This is the shape of the question. The question typically look like this. Why does the author mention X? The author discusses X in order to explain what? The purpose of paragraph X is to, okay? This is the kind of or the shape of the question. You will find it like this in the test today, okay? Let's move on to figure out or more illustration about this question. To answer correctly, you must analyze the surrounding context, okay? Don't read the sentence itself alone, okay? You have to read previously, and also you have to add some sentence after the context, okay? To figure out whether the author is. Sometimes the author is giving an example to illustrate something, okay? Or maybe he is introducing a new idea into the paragraph, okay? Providing background information to add some information to the reader. Maybe he is giving a contrasting two point of view, contrasting ideas. There is a conflicting ideas between two things into the paragraph, maybe drawing a conclusion, etc. Okay, too many reasons why the author mentioned this piece of information into the text. Let's move on to see this. Recognizing a pattern in how writers structure their idea is essential. Okay, this is very important to know why the writer or the author structure or put this sentence here. The more you practice reading with this deeper level of awareness, the more confident you will become at identifying the author purpose. The more you practice, the more you find the right answer and mastering this question type on the test day. Here is too many reasons why the author mentioned this sentence. Okay, there is a variety of reasons why the author mentioned this a piece of information into the paragraph. So he may be sometimes compared to things. The author wanted to show similarities or differences between a text ideas. The author may use information to compare two ideas. This is one of them. Number two, to contrast. Okay, the author wants to show difference between two things. An author may wish to point out the difference between two things. So he is making a contrasting ideas using the words into the context or the paragraph. So you have to find out that he is making a contrast. Number three, maybe the writer or the author is giving an example to make an emphasize to his idea. Number four, to indicate or to point out. The author wants us to draw the reader's attention to something. Number five, to describe or illustrate. The author wants us to further describe or illustrate an idea. Number six, to correct. Maybe the author wants to correct an earlier claim or misunderstanding. Number seven, to introduce something. Okay, to cast it out. It means that he would like to make a whole discussion about something. Maybe the author support or prove evidence. He would like to give an example to make an evidence to something that he is explaining. Number 10, to suggest. The author wants us to suggest an idea, suggest a solution to a problem. Number 11, to emphasize. Okay, to make sure that this idea is very clear, okay? To explain something, the author may want to explain something to the reader. These questions require more than skill with the English language. So, they require you to consider the purpose, the information service carefully. Why he mentioned the piece of information here. why the author or what his intention while he is trying to put this information into a certain part of the text. To get your answer, there are important tips. And here is the very important time. Follow us. Don't miss a point into this video because I think it's completely helpful for you, okay? Number one, the first step that you have to follow is read the question carefully. And this is very important point. If you misunderstood what does the meaning of this question, I think that you will answer the question incorrectly, because the understanding what the author or the tester wants me to do is very crucial and essential. And understand what it is asking you to do. Identify the keyword. Don't forget to find the keywords that leads to the correct answer. Number two, go to the beginning of the paragraph. Why we are asking the test takers to go to the beginning of the paragraph? Because it's very fundamental to do this. Because the main idea and the general statement into the paragraph is located in the beginning of the paragraph. So he can draw a great conclusion, or he may deduce what is the author wants me to do into the first or the beginning paragraph sentence. Okay, read from the beginning to of the paragraph to determine its main idea. After you determine the main idea, everything will be easy. The purpose or the purpose. Pay a special attention to the first sentence of the paragraph, as we said before, as there is often a clue, okay? The first sentence into the main idea paragraph contains a clue found there. After you do this, it will be easier to determine the purpose of the highlighted word or keywords, because they are often related to the author's purpose for the paragraph, okay? After you read the first sentence into the paragraph and find the keywords and find also the clue to what you are searching for, it's easier now to determine the purpose of the intention of the author, okay? Number three, look for transition words. Okay, the transition words is very essential here because it's a clue. It may lead you to a conclusion. It may lead you to find why the author mentioned this, because if you find the word like however, although, you directly go in your mind a confusion about, he may be sometimes making a contrasting ideas, okay, because however and also they are a transition words of contrast. So now you can draw a conclusion about he is trying to make a contrasting ideas into the paragraph. This can be an important clue about why the author included certain information. Number four, when you get to the highlighted words, when you find the words that mentioned into the question or keywords that leads to the answer, slow down, okay? You have to stop here and focus more and concentrate on the words into this sentence and read the sentence carefully, because as we said before, it contains reference words or maybe keywords that leads to the right answer. Number five, use the process of elimination. And the process of elimination, as you know, all of you in the test today, it's very essential and crucial for all the test takers. Because if you eliminated the wrong answers from the first time, you will find that you have just only one or maybe two choices that may be the right answer. So eliminate the answers that doesn't belong to the text, maybe using another information, maybe not related to the topic. So eliminate all of these kind of choices, eliminate the following traps. And this leads to illustrate and study the traps that may you fail into your test today. So be aware of the following items. The traps. Okay, here is a very important traps that faces you in your test today in rhetorical purpose questions. So now the first one is the answer choice has the correct purpose but uses an unmentioned ideas. It's very essential here, okay? Let's stop here to illustrate this point. If you find a choice that has the correct purpose that mentioned into the paragraph, but uses unmentioned ideas into the context, so eliminate it directly because it is incorrect. Some answer choices that are traps will have the correct purpose. Okay? It contains the honey into the bison, as they say, but mentioned an idea that was not in the paragraph, that was not related to the main idea into the paragraph. Directly eliminate all this kind of choices. Number 2, the answer choice distorts information from the passage. This is a common TOEFL trap. So he is trying to give you some distorted information into the passage, does not belong to the main idea, or the whole context imagination, or the whole big picture of the paragraph. So eliminate this kind of choices. Number 3, an answer choice that uses a lot of vocabulary from the passage, but it changes the meaning from the passage. Okay? You will find or face in the TOEFL test today a choice that contains a lot of vocabulary that you faces or you find into the passage, but using another meaning. Changing the meaning and playing with the vocabulary, it's a tricky way to deceive the test takers to mischoose the right answer. So pay attention to this. If you find too many vocabularies into the text or the choice, he is using these vocabs, but in another meaning, not belongs to the whole meaning of the passage, don't choose this choice. Let's move on to number 4. The answer choice contains extreme language. What are the extreme languages, or what is the extreme language? The extreme language is some maybe words or some adjectives that describe something, okay? Using like never, forever, as example here, never, forever, always. All of these frequency adverbs can lead to misunderstanding in the meaning, or give you an extreme language on the opposite of the meaning of the choice. So it gives you an incorrect answer. Extreme wording such as will be impossible, maybe a trap. Take care of all these modifiers and extreme language which can turn into the meaning to another meaning by using just a word, okay? Number 5. If the extreme language in the answer choice is not supported by the text, it is incorrect answer, okay? In other words, if you find the extreme language mentioned into the choice, but it is not supported by the text, it is not mentioned by the text, it has another vocab in the text, another meaning from the text, it is incorrect choice. Number 6, the answer doesn't reflect the author's purpose. This is very essential one. How can we understand that this answer could not reflect the author's purpose? It may be doesn't belong to the main idea. It may be contrasting with what the author trying to mention into the paragraph. So it doesn't reflect, okay, the author's purpose and the author's intention. Of course, this is the most common trap for all the test takers. For purpose question, you have to become familiar with why the author include. This is the main topic, okay, our test takers. This is the main topic. Why the author include a piece of information like this here, okay? Are they supporting an idea? Ask yourself, is he supporting an idea? Or casting out an idea, indicating new information to the reader, giving a specific example, supporting or emphasizing an idea? Reading a lot to becoming familiar with how authors use information in an excellent way to prepare for your question type. Okay? All of these questions, if you ask yourself why the author mentioned this, he is trying to give example, reading, becoming, giving more information, emphasizing an idea, something like this. If you find the answer to one of these questions, you will find the right answer. Let's move on to the trap number 7. The answer don't relate to the big picture, okay? The whole imagination or the whole tune of the writer's style in writing. If the answer doesn't relate it to the big picture of what he is trying to explain into the text, eliminate this choice directly. Okay? Some answer choice may not be related to has nothing to do with, okay? Has no connection with the main idea, okay? The author is trying to make. It's not right answer. It is incorrect. This should be eliminated, okay? Number 8 and the last one. And we will go directly to imply for an example to check our understanding about how we can answer the rhetorical purpose question in TOEFL IBT reading section. Number 8, the answer choice is incorrect. It's clearly in front of your face on the screen that this choice is incorrect. Some answer choices will contain information that is not correct, but will repeat words from the passage. Okay, take care of this. He uses some vocabularies from the passage, but these vocabularies were formed or structured in a correct information which are not mentioned into the passage. Make sure you read each choice carefully before you choose, okay? And now let's move on to how we can imply and check our understanding about rhetorical question today. Here is a passage, okay, and a text, and he asks you a question here, like this. He says, why does the author mention insects? As you see, highlighted in gray. Why the author mentioned this word? Okay, first of all, you have to understand the question as we said before. He asking you why the author mentioned this word. In other words, he wants you to understand why the author put this word here. What is his intention when he put this word in this place? Okay? First of all, you have to read from the first of the paragraph here. Because as we said before, the beginning of the paragraph contains the main idea to the text or the paragraph. So let's get started. Spiders are often referred to as insects, but they are certainly not insects. Okay, here's a big difference, and here's the writer wants you to know the difference between the spiders and the insects. All the people consider that spiders are kind of insects, but it is not true, okay, according to the author's main point of view, okay? So, unlike insects, spiders don't have, here is the difference, antennae or wings. Okay, let's get down to the question itself to check which is the right answer. Let's read the first choice. To introduce the idea that spiders only take the form of insects at certain life stage. It's not mentioned into the main idea in the first of the paragraph. So he is not introducing an idea as he mentioned that the spider take a part of his life completely like the insects. It is not mentioned. So I think it is not a good idea here, or it is incorrect choice. Okay, let's move to number 2. To argue that all spiders are social, okay? No, it is not mentioned also here. If we get up in the context, okay, and move on using a skimming strategy on reading, I think that there is nothing. This is a social behavior. Okay, let's read here. Spatial spiders have 8 legs, whereas insects have 6. A few spider species build webs. He is describing his life, his activities, his behavior, and live in large colonies. This is a social behavior. He is describing here the behavior of some certain species of spiders, not talking about why he mentioned the word insect here. As we said before, there is difference between what you think about spiders and what the information mentioned into the passage about insects. So we have to eliminate number 2 because it is not right and does not relate it to the main idea that mentioned why the author mentioned this word insects. Number 3, to point out the similarity. Is it similarities? Check your answer here. Are these things between insects and spiders, are they similarities or differences? They are differences, okay, between spider and insects. If we go up there and read again, spiders are often referred to as insects, but they are certainly not insects. You can find here that the speakers or the writer wants her to find out another understanding about whether it was the spiders, whether are the spiders insects or not, because there is big difference between spiders and insects. So I think it is not right here, number 3. So the right answer would be number 4. To correct a common misunderstanding about spiders. Okay. You know from the first point or from the first glance to this choice that it is the right answer, because he is taking the reader to recorrect a definition in your mind about spiders and insects. All of you consider that the spiders may be a part or a kind of insects, but it is not correct, because he says, look at there. It is not, they are certainly not insects. They are not insects. So he is trying to make a recorrection to what you are understanding here. The spiders are not belongs to the insects. This is a common mistake, because you are thinking that spiders can be a kind of insects. No, it is not a kind of insects. There is big difference between them. So he is trying to correct a common misunderstanding about spiders and correct what you are thinking. So now I think that it's clear now how you can answer clearly and accurately the purpose rhetorical question, and I hope you all success. See you. Goodbye.